Pakistan is a global heavyweight in agriculture, ranking as the world's fifth largest producer of sugarcane, yielding over 80 million tons every year. The sheer financial footprint of this industry is massive, generating roughly 1,000 billion rupees in annual revenue, a figure that matches the entire federal government's budget for national infrastructure projects like roads, dams, and schools. Despite this immense surplus, the domestic market is frequently hit by severe shortages that send the price of sugar climbing to double or even triple its normal rate. These spikes are driven by a system of coordinated, engineered scarcity designed by the very politician owners who control the country's sugar mills. This coordination ensures that while the mills profit, the average citizen absorbs the cost of a crisis managed by those in the halls of power. Manipulation on this scale requires total control over the physical supply. It begins at the mills, where owners systematically underpay farmers for their cane to acquire a massive volume of unrecorded product. To hide this supply from the government, mill labs falsify a metric called the recovery rate, which measures how much sugar is extracted from the raw cane. This fraud creates a vast pool of phantom sugar. Data from the Sharif family's Al Arabia mill shows they reported producing 925,000 bags in a single season, while concealing an additional 751,000 bags, effectively hiding nearly half of their total output. These systemic operations are managed at the highest levels of political power, grounding the abstract data in the reality of the families running the industry. This initial deception builds a stockpile of invisible, tax-free sugar that the cartel uses as the primary tool for upcoming market manipulation. To move this hidden sugar into the market, mills generate invoices for fake shops and even deceased individuals. Investigations found that, in some regions, every single buyer listed on the official records was fraudulent. Once the supply is laundered, the cartel uses a practice called SATA, speculative forward booking. In private WhatsApp groups, brokers and mill owners conspire to set future prices long before the sugar is even delivered. In this system, the physical sugar never leaves the warehouse. On paper, however, it is traded and sold 5 or 6 times over among a tight circle of insiders, with the price being bid up at every step. This cycle of hoarding and speculative trading triggers an immediate panic in the real world, draining the actual supply from local store shelves. SATA functions as a manual override on the laws of supply and demand, turning a physical surplus into an intentional spike in the cost of living for millions of people. After driving up domestic prices, the cartel uses its political influence to declare a national surplus, allowing them to ship the product to international markets. The government facilitates this by using public taxpayer money to pay the cartel lucrative export subsidies, effectively funding the mill owners to send their product out of the country. These exports also provide a channel for money laundering. By over-invoicing shipments to neighboring countries, mill owners can legally bring black money parked offshore back into Pakistan, disguised as legitimate business profits. This aggressive exporting eventually causes a genuine shortage at home. The government is then forced to import sugar at high global rates, right as the local mills release their hoarded stockpiles at peak prices. The public pays twice, first to subsidize the cartel's exports with tax money, and again at the store to buy back the same commodity at crisis-level prices. The economic manipulation depends on a foundation of absolute political immunity, shielding perpetrators across every major political dynasty. When the Competition Commission of Pakistan issued a record-breaking 44 billion rupee fine for price fixing, the cartel used the judiciary to trap the penalty in a decade of legal stays and procedural delays. Investigative bodies have also been neutralized. The government recently rewrote the National Accountability Bureau laws, specifically exempting the massive financial thresholds associated with their own sugar enterprises. On the ground, the financial trail is often severed by simple evasion. The Turin Group, for instance, used low-level riders to withdraw billions in cash, making it impossible for regulators to track where the money ultimately ended up. Solving this requires total market deregulation, removing the quotas and subsidies that give politicians the power to rig the game. As long as the people making the laws also own the mills, the sugar mafia will continue to manufacture crises, and the public will continue to foot the bill.